What if everything you learned in school about the universe was a carefully constructed lie? What if the greatest minds in science have discovered truths so disturbing, so reality-shattering, that they've agreed to keep them hidden from the public? Right now, as you watch this, there are classified research papers locked away in vaults. There are scientists who lost their careers for speaking out. There are discoveries that would change humanity forever, buried under bureaucracy and fear. You've been looking at the night sky your whole life, believing you understand what you're seeing. But what if I told you that the universe is not what it appears to be? That the very fabric of reality operates on principles that would terrify most people? That consciousness, time, and existence itself are far stranger than any science fiction movie could imagine? By the end of this video, you will never see the cosmos the same way again. And some of what you're about to hear, it's going to make you deeply uncomfortable. Good. That means you're paying attention. The 95% mystery. Here's a fact that should keep you up at night. Scientists can only account for 5% of the universe. Let that sink in. 5% of everything, the other 95%. They call it dark matter and dark energy. But here's what they won't tell you in documentaries. Those names are just fancy ways of saying we have absolutely no idea what it is. Imagine building a house and realizing that 95% of the materials are invisible and completely unknown to you. Would you feel safe living in that house? That's the universe we exist in. Every time you look up at the stars, you're seeing less than 5% of what's actually there. The rest is a complete mystery that has baffled the greatest minds for decades. Some physicists privately admit that our current models of physics might be fundamentally wrong. Not slightly off. Completely, embarrassingly wrong. We've built our entire understanding of reality on a foundation we can't see, can't measure, and can't explain. As physicist Richard Feynman once admitted, I think I can safely say that nobody understands quantum mechanics. And if nobody understands it, why are we so confident about everything else? But this is just the beginning of what they are not telling you. Simulation. What if you're not real? What if none of this is real? It sounds like the plot of a science fiction movie, but some of the world's most respected scientists are taking this idea very seriously. The simulation hypothesis suggests that our entire universe, including you, your memories, your loved ones, might be nothing more than an incredibly advanced computer program. And here's the disturbing part. We may never be able to prove otherwise. Think about how video games have evolved in just 40 years. From simple pixels to photorealistic worlds. Now imagine a civilization 1,000,000 years more advanced than us. What kind of simulations could they create? Oxford philosopher Nick Bostrom calculated that if advanced civilizations can run simulations of their ancestors, and if there are many such simulations, then statistically, we are almost certainly living in one right now. Not real, just code. Elon Musk famously stated that the odds we're living in base reality are 1 in billions. But here's what most people don't consider. If we are in a simulation, what happens when they decide to shut it down? What happens when we become boring to whoever is watching? The implications are terrifying. But what comes next might be even more unsettling. Time. You experience time as a flowing river, moving from past to present to future. But according to physics, that's completely wrong. Einstein proved over a century ago that time is relative. It bends, stretches, and warps depending on how fast you're moving and how close you are to massive objects. But here's what textbooks gloss over. Many physicists now believe that time doesn't actually flow at all. The past, present, and future all exist simultaneously in what they call the block universe. Right now, as you watch this, the version of you from 10 years ago still exists. The version of you from tomorrow already exists. Everything has already happened. We just experience it one slice at a time, like a needle moving across a record that's already been pressed. Past, present, future all exist. This means free will might be the greatest illusion of all. Every decision you think you're making, already made. Every path you think you could take, already determined. As Einstein himself wrote after the death of his close friend, the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. He believed this deeply. So if time is an illusion, what else have we gotten completely wrong? The answer involves the very nature of reality itself. Observer effect. This might be the most reality-shattering discovery in all of science, and it's been proven in laboratories countless times. In quantum physics, particles don't have definite properties until they are observed. Read that again. The act of looking at something literally changes what it is. It's called the observer effect, and it suggests something profound and deeply troubling. You create reality by looking. The famous double-slit experiment shows that particles behave as waves of probability until someone observes them, at which point they collapse into definite states. The universe seems to be waiting for consciousness to decide what's real. Some scientists have suggested that this means consciousness isn't just in our brains. It might be fundamental to the universe itself. Reality might require an observer to exist. Without consciousness, there may be no universe at all. This challenges everything we think we know about the separation between mind and matter. You are not just a passive observer of the universe. You might be actively participating in its creation with every glance, every thought, every moment of awareness. The implications for free will, for meaning, for existence itself, are staggering. And this leads us directly into one of science's most controversial topics, the multiverse. Every time you make a decision, the universe splits. In one branch, you turned left. In another, you turned right. Both versions of you continue living, unaware of each other. This is the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, and it's taken seriously by a significant portion of physicists. It means there are infinite versions of you. A version where you made different choices. A version where you died young. A version where you became unimaginably successful. All existing simultaneously, in parallel realities. Infinite yous living infinite lives. But here's what keeps some scientists up at night. If all possibilities exist, then nothing you do ultimately matters because every possible outcome happens somewhere. And yet somehow, you only experience this one life. Why this branch? Why this version of reality? Some theories suggest consciousness might be able to navigate between these branches. Others propose that our choices might influence which branch we experience. The science here gets strange enough that the line between physics and philosophy disappears entirely. As the great physicist Stephen Hawking noted, the universe doesn't allow perfection. Yet somewhere in the multiverse, perhaps it does. But what does this mean for life itself? What comes next will challenge everything you believe about existence. The probability of you existing is essentially zero. Mathematically, you shouldn't be here. Scientists have calculated the odds of your exact genetic combination occurring, considering all the ancestors who had to survive, all the random meetings that had to happen, all the evolutionary developments that had to occur. The number is so astronomically small that it's basically impossible. And yet here you are. You are impossible yet real. Even the existence of life itself seems statistically impossible. The conditions required for a planet to support life are so precise that the odds of them occurring by chance are 1 in 10 followed by billions of zeros. Scientists call this the fine-tuning problem. The fundamental constants of the universe, the strength of gravity, the mass of electrons, the speed of light, are calibrated so perfectly that even the tiniest change would make life impossible. It's as if someone set all the dials with extreme precision. Some scientists see this as evidence of a creator. Others see it as evidence of the multiverse, where we exist because we're in the rare universe where things worked out. But others see it as a mystery we're not meant to solve. The uncomfortable truth is that your existence is either a miracle beyond comprehension or evidence of something far stranger than we can imagine. But speaking of strange, what about the end of everything? There's great silence. Where is everybody? This simple question, asked by physicist Enrico Fermi in 1950, has haunted scientists ever since. Given the age and size of the universe, there should be countless advanced civilizations out there. Our galaxy alone has hundreds of billions of stars. Many have planets. The universe is 14 billion years old. Even if intelligent life is rare, there should be evidence of it everywhere. And yet the universe is silent. No signals, no visitors, no evidence of anyone out there. We are alone or being avoided. Scientists have proposed many explanations, and some are deeply unsettling. Perhaps civilizations always destroy themselves before they can reach the stars. Perhaps there's something out there that hunts advanced life. Perhaps we're being deliberately quarantined or observed. Perhaps what we call consciousness is far rarer than we assume, or perhaps the answer is even more disturbing. Maybe we're the first. Maybe in this vast, ancient cosmos, we are the pioneers, alone in an empty universe that has waited billions of years for someone to wake up. As the physicist Carl Sagan once reflected, the universe is a pretty big place. It's bigger than anything anyone has ever dreamed of before, and in all that space, the silence is deafening. But this leads us to question our very perception of reality. Consciousness. Here's science's dirty little secret. We have no idea what consciousness is. Despite centuries of philosophy and decades of neuroscience, we cannot explain how physical matter becomes aware of itself. How does a collection of neurons generate the experience of seeing red, of feeling love, of knowing that you exist? This is called the hard problem of consciousness, and no one has solved it. Science cannot explain you. Some researchers believe consciousness emerges from complexity, but no one can explain how or why. Others propose that consciousness is fundamental, like space and time, woven into the fabric of reality itself. A growing number of scientists are embracing panpsychism, the idea that consciousness exists in everything, from humans to animals to atoms to the universe itself. This isn't new age speculation. Serious scientists at major universities are exploring these ideas because the alternatives have failed. What does it mean if the entire universe is, in some sense, conscious? What if the cosmos is aware of itself? What if you are the universe experiencing itself subjectively? The philosopher Alan Watts put it simply, you are the universe experiencing itself. And if that's true, then death might not be what we think it is. Which brings us to perhaps the most forbidden topic of all. Death is a door. Scientists are extremely uncomfortable discussing what happens after death. It's considered unprofessional, unscientific. But the evidence is more complex than they'll publicly admit. Near-death experiences have been documented in people who were clinically dead, with no brain activity, yet who report vivid experiences of leaving their bodies, encountering deceased relatives, or seeing events that were later verified. Death might not be the end. The AWARE study, conducted across multiple hospitals, found cases where patients accurately described events that occurred while they were clinically dead. Materialist science has no explanation for this. Some physicists, drawing on quantum mechanics, propose that consciousness might continue in some form after physical death, that information cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Others point to the conservation of energy. You are made of energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. What happens to the energy of your consciousness when your body dies? We don't know. And perhaps we're not supposed to know until we experience it ourselves. As the Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Perhaps death is not an ending but a transition, a door rather than a wall. But what should we do with this knowledge? The answer might change your life. Ultimate truth. So what is the truth that scientists are hiding? Perhaps it's not a conspiracy. Perhaps it's something more human than that. The greatest minds who study the universe often come to the same uncomfortable conclusion. The more we learn, the more mysterious everything becomes. The deeper we dig, the stranger reality appears. Mystery deepens with knowledge. We've discovered that 95% of reality is invisible, that time might not flow, that observation creates reality, that you are mathematically impossible yet here you are, that consciousness remains unexplained, that death might not be the end. The hidden truth isn't something scientists are keeping from you. It's something they themselves can't fully grasp. Reality is far stranger, far more mysterious, and far more profound than we ever imagined. And maybe that's the point. Maybe we're not meant to have all the answers. Maybe the mystery is the message. You are a conscious being in a universe that shouldn't exist, made of stardust that somehow became aware of itself. You are the universe asking questions about itself. Every moment of your existence is a miracle wrapped in an enigma. As the physicist Max Planck, father of quantum theory, concluded after a lifetime of study, science cannot solve the ultimate mystery of nature, because we ourselves are part of the mystery we are trying to solve. The truth they are hiding, perhaps it's simply this: we know far less than we pretend, and that should fill you with wonder, not fear. You've just traveled through the most profound mysteries of existence. From the invisible majority of the universe to the illusion of time, from the role of consciousness in creating reality to the possibility that death is not the end. These aren't fringe theories. These are questions that keep the world's greatest minds awake at night. The universe you thought you knew doesn't exist. Reality is stranger, more beautiful, and more mysterious than any story we've ever told ourselves. And here's the most important truth of all. You are part of this cosmic mystery, not a passive observer but an active participant. Your consciousness, your awareness, your very existence is woven into the fabric of everything. Every time you wonder about the stars, you are the universe wondering about itself. Every time you ask why you exist, you are existence questioning its own nature. The greatest scientists throughout history have come to understand that humility in the face of the unknown is not weakness, it's wisdom. We don't have all the answers, we may never have them, but the search itself is sacred. So look up at the night sky tonight. Know that you are gazing at mystery. Know that mystery is gazing back at you. And know that somehow, impossibly, miraculously, you are here to witness it all. If this changed how you see the universe, hit subscribe and join us for more mind-expanding truths.